Hey Great Dramas, today we are having a quick look at Johnnie Walker Oldest. Now, many of you won't have heard of this one because it was the first version, so to speak, of Johnnie Walker Blue, Johnnie Walker Blue Label. And this one contained whiskies up to 62 years old, which is absolutely mind-blowing. It was released originally to get through a load of premium stock that Diageo under the Johnnie Walker brand held and didn't have necessarily a route to market or a reason to release at that time. So you have the blue tinted glass symbolizing the premiumness, as well as the oldest being the name on there, and then the tag being a blend of our oldest whiskies and then their highest awards. It feels like it was bottled in the 19th century, considering they're talking like about awards from 1880 in Melbourne, Paris 1885, Jamaica 1891, but it was kind of late 80s, early 90s, somewhere around then. And this one, 43% ABV. This is actually an American import bottle, so 75 CL. The cork unfortunately disintegrated before I got to open it, so I had to sieve this thing out through an old wine sieve. So we've actually used one of the GreatDrams corks in there as a spare. Always have spares. Yeah, so this one, blend, as we said, blended Scotch whisky, and the precursor to what is now known as the Johnnie Walker Blue Label release, which is one of the most prestigious blends in the market. Does not carry an age statement, although apparently 1 in every 1,000 casks gets selected for the Johnnie Walker Blue blend. So considering their vast stock portfolio and inventory, you can imagine that that's not actually that many based on what they have. So this one always needs time in the glass to open up. It's quite dusty, quite musty. The nose itself is a bit like, oof, chill out, mate. But once you give it a sec, swirl that thing around, get it opening up, reveals itself for those big kind of vanilla, citrusy, orangey notes coming through. Subtle kind of fresh coffee note pulling through too. Maybe a subtle prickly kind of white pepper spice there as well. And the palate, that all goes away. It is monumentally smooth and easy drinking. Very sweet, like really kind of fresh honey, fresh kind of brown sugar as well, kind of sweetness there going through. A smoke underpins this in a really interesting way. By no means a smoky whiskey, but you get that on the back palate, and it kind of carries through whilst you're going through the whiskey itself. But super mellow, really easy drinking. Johnnie Walker, of course, have their new brand experience up in Edinburgh and Princes Street, which is phenomenal. I think it costs something like 35 million quid to build. But it's a really immersive experience. The tour is really cool, where you get to make cocktails and try whiskies at the end, of course. But really quite a living tour. It's quite mad, actually. Downstairs in the shop is a bit more sterile and shiny. Lots of shiny things and lots of great bottles there. But then they have the rooftop bar and terrace where you can look over a lot of Edinburgh, including the castle. So well worth a visit. A wonderful place. Incredible whiskies on offer there. But this one, an absolute banger. I think that's the last bottle I have. Damn.